all have playoff experience from last year. But the reason why I'm really, really liking our playoff chances, or our chances in the playoffs, I'm not going to say we're going to be a World Series team, but I'm just saying why we have an edge over some teams. I'm not going to say, like, over the Dodgers or, like, any team like that. But teams like, I don't know, the Nationals they're kind of a young team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2017. And since 2017, their team has changed quite a bit, as we all know. Their pitching staff hasn't changed too much other than adding Corbin and a few pieces in their bullpen this deadline. But their outfield, Soto, Robles, they don't have Harper. Maybe that's a good thing for them. It's been working out better this year. But, yeah. But I'm really liking our chances. So, listen to this. Most of our pitching staff has pitched in the postseason. I would say, let's call it. We have DeGrom has pitched in the postseason, Syndergaard has pitched in the postseason, and they've both done well. Matz has pitched in the postseason, Stroman's pitched in the postseason. Wheeler, remember, we only need 4 pitchers in the postseason. Wheeler can be our Bartolo guy who we had in the 2015 run. You only need a 4-man rotation in the playoffs. So, all 4 of our guys have playoff experience. And they've done relatively well, especially Stroman, Syndergaard, DeGrom, and even Matz didn't do bad. As that was one of his first years, I think. It was really early on in his career, and he's only developed since. So then we have Ramos, who I believe has spent time in the postseason. Pete Alonso, who is really good in big spots, doesn't back down from a challenge. We have Robinson Cano. He has plenty of playoff experiences. He's even won a World Series with the Yankees back when they had that big core. So then we have Ahmed Rosario, of course. He has no experience. Todd Frazier, he was in the playoffs in 2017. Conforto's been in the playoffs. A bunch of our team has been in the playoffs, so that I'm not worried about us in the playoffs. We just need to get there first. And our fans have the edge over any fans in MLB. Our fans are crazy. And that's a New York surrounding fan base is just huge, or just a big fan base surrounding you. Of course, any team in the postseason is going to have a big fan base, or a sold-out crowd. But it's just the New York crowd. They've been through so much. If we somehow win the wild card, we're not going to get the first spot. When we play at New York, it's just going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be shaking. It's just going to be a great spot to be in. Mets postseason baseball. We're only 2 games back. We can do this. We can't mess up. We need to wait for the other teams to mess up. We can't rely on the other teams. We need to take it in our own hands. If teams lose and we win, that's going to help us, of course, as we all know. But we just need to win. We can't afford to lose series. I get it. The Dodgers series is going to be tough. But teams like the Reds, the Rockies, the Marlins, that's a really relatively easy end to the season, other than the Braves and the Dodgers, of course. So we cannot get swept by either the Dodgers or Braves. We cannot. I really wish we ended the season playing the Marlins instead of the Braves, because we all know it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to definitely go down to the wire, because all these teams are in the same situation. I guarantee people from the Cardinals fan base, the Phillies fan base, the Brewers fan base, the Cubs fan base, are all saying the same things I'm saying right now, just making different points about their players. So everyone thinks they can get in. Well, it's of course we can get in. It's not out of reach. We've came back from being 10 games under 500 at the trade deadline, and look where we are now. We're a serious contender for that second wildcard spot. We can come back from anything. We just need to get streaky. We're streaky right now. We just beat the Diamondbacks. Our offense is hot. Everyone in our offense has confidence now. Everyone's hitting well. I guess Alonso has been in a slump, but McNeil's broke out of his slump. But that's the thing. You don't need everyone to be hot at the same time. Different players click at different times. And that's what you gotta love about baseball. It's an individual sport. And, yeah. Then you have guys like Juan Lagares putting up 6 RBIs, 2 home runs today. That's just crazy. With his first Grand Slam, he's getting hot now. You have Todd Frazier getting hot. He had a bunch of RBIs. I think he had 5 RBIs yesterday, had a home run. First at bat today. He's hot. He is hot right now. The Mets are hot. We just need this momentum going. We're a very emotional team. So there's no reason this shouldn't keep going. I'm getting emotional about this. I haven't seen Mets baseball since 2016. And we all know how that went. We don't need to talk about that. 2015, that was a good run too. I loved watching it. But one was I haven't seen postseason baseball since that. I'm young, so I don't remember the 2006, 2007 seasons. So I want to see Mets baseball as the rest of our Mets fans seen. I know it's not a long time since we've been to the playoffs and the World Series, but the amount of stuff we've been through by then, it's just been terrible. We've been through so much stuff. We've been through more stuff than I would say almost every team in 2 years. Only teams I can really think of is the Marlins and a few other teams that's probably not clicking to my head at the moment. But it's just we've been through so much through the 2 years. I know I could be over dramatic right now, but what's called we got Cespedes. Where's he been? He hasn't been anywhere. We got Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano. Edwin Diaz, a sub-2 ERA. We haven't seen that since the first month of baseball. Robinson Cano batting 280? No. More like 240 this year. It's just we have been through so much and we've rebounded. So, and then you have players who were terrible for the Mets, such as Jay Bruce was off an injury, but he's injured right now. But he was having a heck of a start to the season. I think he had 7 home runs in like the first series. I think first 2 series, not including the Athletics one in Japan. But then we have guys like Rafael Montero, who's in Texas right now, who's like a sub-3 ERA. It's just like all these players who sucked for the Mets are just all of a sudden turning into solid relievers and like starters. It's just the amount I can't even name the amount of stuff that's gone wrong for the Mets these past 2 years. Re-signing Cespedes was a good idea, but who knew he would ride a horse into a ditch and sprain his ankles? Who knew the day before Christmas Daniel Murphy would sign with our division rivals? It's just so much stuff has gone wrong. But now, the point I'm trying to make, I know I've been talking about how much stuff has gone wrong. How much stuff has gone wrong in like the last 2 years. But the point I'm trying to make is Mets fans need postseason right now. And it's not out of reach. We have such a mediocre schedule. We just cannot get swept by the Dodgers or the Braves. Now, if we get swept by the Dodgers and the other matchups work against us, I know I've been saying this for quite some time during the season, but it's not looking good. I'm not going to say the season's over. I've only declared the season over twice or 3-4 times this season, which is quite a lot actually, but it would seriously not look good at that point, especially if I said the matchups work against us. So it's gonna be we need postseason right now. We need it badly. But this is what my postseason lineup would be. I'm gonna go to 26. I'm gonna put 26 players. I think it's 28 actually right now. So, as our starting four in the playoffs, I mentioned this earlier. Jacob deGrom as our ace, starting the wild card game. This is if we make the playoffs. Then we have Noah Syndergaard at 2, Marcus Stroman 3, Steven Matz 4. They're so similar, and it's just good to have a lefty to throw them in there, especially depending on our matchup. That'd be my 4, and then you put Zach Wheeler as our long reliever. Even though CMS has postseason bullpen experience as a reliever this year, he's pitched a few innings. But yeah, then I would have Wilson. You have to have Wilson Ramos in the playoffs. You can't have Tomas Nido just babying Noah Syndergaard. He needs to man up. So yeah, that would be my catcher. Pete Alonso at first. I put Robinson Cano at second. Ahmed at. Because you need to have some sort. He's played in bigger spots than the Mets are in right now. He's played in the World Series and has performed in the World Series. So it depends on how he does. He's been doing really well recently, and I can't see a reason why we wouldn't play him in the wild card game. And I don't know, I might be talking a little too much for a team that might not even make the wild card, but this is just what I would do. Ramos Cano at second, Ahmed at short. You have to have JD at third. Depends. That's weird. Maybe you have Todd at third, JD in left, Michael Conforto in center, Jeff McNeil in right. Maybe you have JD at third, McNeil in left, Conforto in right, Juan Lagares in center. It really matters on how everyone does in the final span of the season. Who knows? Maybe Joe Panic bats like 400 at the last 2 weeks and like hits 5 home runs. Then you're forced to play him over whoever. Who knows? Maybe Luis Guillorme goes off too. So and maybe Juan Lagares stays hot. It just all depends on what happened. All depends on what happens in the last 2 weeks. So that pretty much does it. I by the time next week, I really hope the Dodgers haven't swept us. I really hope we sweep the Rockies, and we're looking good. So that's gonna be it for this week. There's not much news other than that, other than what Pete Alonso did yesterday. He contacted the MLB trying to get the first offenders hat for the people who sacrificed their lives on the day of 9/11, 2001. So, and then he bought everyone cleats. What 24-year-old rookie does such a class act like that? That's my rookie of the year. I just had to mention that. That's the only news I have to bring up for this whole podcast. So, that's just a class act, and what kind of rookie would do that? It's just amazing. So I think once again, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully I'll talk to you guys next week. It depends on our schedule between me and Sal, my co-host. So that'll be it for tonight's episode. Make sure you guys leave a follow on Mets.station. Leave Sal a follow, Sal.Mosca5. And just let's go Mets. Can't wait to see what happens in the next week. And I'll see you guys next week in tomorrow's episode. Or next week's episode. Let's go Mets.